Lochoyo sampo pagyo trashipa tuche tempe trile yarmoda pelge drolor zampe zepar pande lame shabla solwade Omo guru vajra Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Om Uta Vardani Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Om Guru Vajra Dara Sumatimun Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Pakyuke Kodan Dagi Dagi Pakyuke Todan Dagi Tenyerme Chikto Jingelo Makyuke Kodan Dagilo Makyuke Todan Dagi Tenye Shinto Jingelo Om Muni Muni Maha Muni Shakya Muni Swaha Om Muni Maha Muni Shakya Muni Swaha Om Muni Muni Shakya Muni Swaha
We sit in a comfortable position with our back straight but not tense. Now we'll do the exercises that we did before but in a different order. I hope that I won't I hope I don't disturb you during the meditation. When I get the hiccups, sometimes it lasts a long time. Once it lasted for 5 days, but I hope it doesn't disturb your meditation. Anyway, everything's fine. Our shoulders are relaxed. Our mouth is relaxed, with our tongue towards our palate. Our eyes are slightly closed, looking downwards. We have awareness of our breath. We allow ourselves to be present in this present moment. We allow ourselves to find a place of relaxation, a welcoming place within ourselves. We visualize our central channel, the two side channels, with a body of light. Our own body, we visualize it as being light and transparent, full of light. We see our central channel well, clearly, and the two side channels as well. To make a Vajra fist, and we follow with the 9-round breathing exercise. Inhale and exhale. When we inhale, we gather up any tension that's in our body. And when we exhale, we dissolve these tensions. Gradually, we allow our body to relax from a superficial level to a relaxation that's deeper and deeper. When we inhale, we gather up the tensions that are accumulated in our mind, our fear, our sadness, our anxiety, our anger. Any tension that exists in the mind, we don't explain, we don't justify, we don't get into any kind of dialogue. We simply observe where there's tension in our mind. We gather it up as we breathe in, and as we exhale, we release it, dissolve it in the space in front of us. as our mind relaxes, we allow it to relax. Relax on the feeling of of our nostrils. We just relax. It's as if we gently allowed our mind to rest on the sensation at our nostrils, and any other thought that comes to disturb us, we just let it go by gently, sweetly, and once again we we rest on the feeling at our nostrils of the air that comes in and the air that goes out without forcing. Gently, we accompany ourselves, we accompany our mind as we observe this feeling, the sensation of the air that comes in and comes out of our nostrils. keep our awareness on our breath. We observe the air that comes in, that stays, that goes out. Little by little, we open up our eyes and we move our hands. Atisha, one of the most important masters within the tradition of Tibetan Buddhism. And in the end, he didn't write a lot, but in one of his texts, these texts are they're fundamental for the Tibetan Buddhism. And there's one text called The Jewel Garland of the Bodhisattva that I invite you to read, which you can find it here in our shop. And I think the booklet is called The Method. It's a book on Lojong. I mean, I wouldn't exchange this book for anything. They're the most important precious texts that exist. So if you do take this booklet, take it as something very precious. Read it and reread and read it again and again. It's a very short text, and if you don't, you need. It's a self-criticism, and if one goes right away onto this text, it's a little bit strong. So let's say, it's for those that are ready. But there's this first text, Atisha says there are two actions to accomplish, one at the beginning and one at the end, which means that when we do something, especially virtuous things, it's important to generate the motivation at the beginning, remember why we're doing what we do, and when we finish, we should dedicate what we've done. And an important thing to think about is, why do we want to meditate? Why are we doing what we do? Each one of us will have his own motivations, will have his own reasons or spontaneous reasons relative to one's needs. Maybe someone wants to have more concentration or face life better or overcome anxiety, and this is all good. But we need to somehow, how can I say, we just push us a little bit farther and remember that what we're doing, taking care of ourselves, finding within ourselves refuge and a place of peace, to have more calm and balance, love, gratitude. This is an investment that we're doing for the world. So why am I doing this? Because I want to live in a better world. I want that I want there to be a world where there's more love, harmony, respect, a pure environment for myself and for others, those who come after me. I want to better myself, to be able to be an influence, to be at the service of others, like a grain of sand, like the grains of sand we saw today in the mandala. You know, we put together. Each one we do our part. So yes, it's good. We can say I want to be more patient. I want to have less anxiety. I want to face this or that better for better our daily motivations. But let's add something else. One step. Let's go one step further. In the end, I don't do this just for me. I'm doing this to put myself at the service of the community, at the service of our own families. I mean, if we want to do something good for our families, we need to do something good for ourselves. The more at peace we are with ourselves, the more we can the more we have to offer them just with our own presence. This reminded me once Lama Michel Rinpoche was at the United Nations in New York, and he went to a conference. At a certain point, he said, "Let's go here," and he got to this conference that was absolutely full, and one of the speakers there was the director of the World Bank, the representative of of the World Bank for the United Nations. His name is Alfredo. He has his own spiritual practice, starting from India. And the first time he saw him, he was going to talk that day about economy and also about spirituality. But he said, I can't permit myself to talk about spirituality in the face, in the presence of a spiritual master. So before speaking, he went to Lama Ganchen and asked his permission to speak, and then he went on stage and he said what he had to say. And then at the end, Rinpoche was waiting for him, and um, and Alfredo said that he didn't want to meet him because he had his own path. He and so he was trying to make it look like he was really busy and on his way out. Instead, Lama Ganchen was waiting for him. And when everything was over, he went to him, he greeted Rinpoche, and Rinpoche asked him something. And he said, "What do you do in your life? Who are you?" And he answered, I'm I'm an economist and an environmentalist. I can't remember exactly what he said. Uh, I'm an environmental economist, he said. He said, "Oh, that's very good." And then he asked him, "Are you a good environmental economist?" And he said, I think so." And then in Rinpoche's very playful way, he said, I, I'll give you the the environmental economist at 100%, but you need to become that at 200%. And he said, "What does that mean? What do you have to teach me about my own job, my own profession?" He said, "You need to become, it's, you shouldn't be bettering the environment through the laws and regulations and the economy. You need to be you need to make it so that your presence is enough to transform that environment." And I remembered that because this is what we need most in the world today. We have 1,000 different ideas and systems and rules and regulations, and maybe they all work well. They would work well, could work well if we had people who were actually able to put them into practice. So we along our path is our objective is not to change others, but to be in interaction with others where we naturally bring about a positive change, because where there's interaction, there's change. So we bring our motivation. I sincerely want to find balance within myself, find peace within. I want to develop myself as a person to be able to offer something better to this planet, um, to the people, regardless of where I am. I want to put myself at the service. When we generate our motivation, this is what we do. And then when we conclude at the end of, for example, at the end of today, we make dedications. We use the word Munlam in Tibetan, translated as prayer, but it's a wrong translation, because prayer in makes reference to a kind of request, to pray for something. Um, comes from, one asks to a god for something, and this is where we make our prayers. And sudep would be that word, which is to make request. But instead, we use this word mun lam. Munpa is made of two words. So say munpa and lam. So munpa means aspiration, and lam means the path. So these words that we recite direct our aspirations. So they we direct our desires. So the difference between a simple aspiration or prayer, let's say, aspiration, and a dedication. So aspirational prayer would be the translation. So a desire is when we want something. Someone is sick, for example. I want that person to be well. I want you to be cured from your sickness, that your pain passes, that you find the right diagnosis, that you're able to find the right cure, and the ability and the constancy to take care of yourself and change your habits that are harmful. This is what I desire. A dedication instead is when we take the energy that we've generated after a day like today, for example, and I direct that energy so for you to be healed, for all the same reasons, but the difference is one is a simple aspiration, and in the other case, we take something that was generated and we direct it for a specific reason. And so every time we do something positive, virtuous, like a day like today, or sitting down to meditate, we dedicate that positive energy. There are generic dedications that we can do, and then there's specific ones we can dedicate with someone in particular who's not well. Um, we can dedicate for a country, for the environment, for the planet in general, or wherever there's hate, may it be pacified, may there be love, may the war be pacified, may peace prevail and be constructed. We can make many dedications, but it's an important moment to dedicate that energy. When we finish something positive, we don't just end it. No, we direct that energy. We direct what we've done, because every action that we do, uh, there's an immediate interaction, but not only, it generates, and we don't have the word to explain this. The easiest way to explain this, it generates a kind of inertia, as if it's like if I throw this act of throwing ends, but there's some kind of force that keeps it flying, and every action that we do, everything we do creates this kind of inertia, this karmic force, this energy, this inertia, this force that we generate with our actions is what we are going to direct, that we're going to direct to one thing or another. So now I will I will recite some munlam, some aspirational prayers that we do traditionally, and I invite you, according to what you feel, to dedicate what we have generated today and direct it to what you feel is important.
Chechen Lama Kutse Rapten Chin Namkara Trinle Chochur Gepadang Losan Tempe Drume Sasum Ki Drove Minsela Taktu Negyur Chi Kewa Kunto Yanda Lamadang Dralme Cheki Pela Long Ching Sada Lamge Yente Rabzone Dorje Change Kopa Nyurtobe Sho Shide Semcho Rinpoche Make Panama Ke Gyurchi Kepa Nyampar Me Payang Kongne Konto Pelwar Shun.
May the precious mind, peaceful mind that has not yet arisen, arise and grow. May that which has already arisen never degenerate and grow forevermore.
Nele targirachi drove nini malyepa tautu chungwa mebrasho menam todan dembadan sanga dejo druba ye kandro simbo la sopa ninje simdan dengirachi chonam kuna lyedan sim dunga neba chinyepa teda dage sonam ki tega gyatso to parasho. In tutte le direzioni, qualunque corpo o mente.
In every direction, may any body or mind, suffering body or mind, may it, through my positive energy merits here generated, may they reach an ocean of well-being and happiness.
Tsendele nime kunyan delek shin yinsen takto delek pe kuncho sumke chinge lobo kuncho sumke ngodrubo tsol kuncho sumke trashi shon.
At dawn or at dusk, at night or midday, may the three jewels grant us their blessings. May they help us to achieve all realizations and sprinkle the path of our lives with various signs of auspiciousness. May the mind become the Dharma. May the Dharma become the path. May the path be free from interferences. Good night. Have a good rest. And we'll see you tomorrow morning at 8 and no, 7:45 is what's written. How strange is that? For me, any time is fine, but let's just just so that we all know what time to arrive. I remember it was 8, but here is written 7:45. So, okay, so 8 o'clock. Okay, let's do 8 o'clock. Tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Okay. Good night. Have a good rest.